The veil was choking me, not just around my neck, but in my lungs, my heart. I couldn't breathe, not under that fake smile, not under the weight of that diamond ring. My heels slipped off my feet as I literally ran down the marble stairs of the wedding hall, past confused guests, ignoring the gas and the camera phone flashing behind me. Let them talk, let them post it. I was done being anyone's puppet bride. I shoved open the exit door and stepped into the pouring rain. Mascara already ruined, my dress torn at the thigh from jumping a fence I was never supposed to climb. Yeah, miss, where are you going? A valet called behind me. I didn't answer. I just kept running like hell. The bus ride was cold and silent. I had no phone, no wallet, just a zippered pouch of emergency cash I had hidden in my dress, tucked near my thigh, like a secret no one was supposed to find. I didn't even know where the bus was going, somewhere off the map, away from Seoul, away from the bastard who tried to buy me like I was some brand named watch to wear at parties. The rain hadn't stopped when I stepped off the last stop. Somewhere rural, quite dead looking. Just empty gas stations and old signs. My dress was soaked, clinging to my skin. I looked like some ghost ride crawling out of a horror movie. I walked, feet numb, hair sticking to my face until I saw it. A single light, a garage, or maybe a mechanic shack. Metal doors, tools hanging from rusted hooks, and a flickering open sign that buzzed like it didn't want to be alive either. I didn't know what made me knock. I just did. Three knocks, then silence, then click. The door creaked open an inch, and there he was, him, John Jungkook. Black hoodie, grease stained hand, a cigarette between his lips, half burned, same damn eyes, same sharp jawline, same ghost of a past I tried to bury. I blinked, he stared. Neither of us moved. Why? His voice was low, rough, deeper than I remembered. It had like a shot of whiskey to the chest, hot, bitter, unforgettable. Hi, I whispered. I need a place to stay. He didn't say yes. He didn't even step aside. Just stared at me for a long, long time. Then finally, said, yeah, you are soaked. Come in before you passed out. Inside, it smelled like metal leather and something warm like him. He handed me a towel. I didn't ask where it came from. I didn't ask why he looked like he hadn't slept in days. I didn't ask why my heart was beating like a bomb ticking in my ribs. He looked at me the way someone looks at a mirror they smashed years ago, shocked it still reflected them. You were running from something? He finally asked, eyes scanning my torn dress. I didn't answer. He scoffed. Figures, still wearing trouble like perfume. I rolled my eyes, exhausted. You still are. Or did you grow out that face? His lips twitched like he might laugh, but he didn't. He walked toward the back of the shop and tossed me a dry hoodie. Put that on. You are shivering. I stared at it. You are not gonna ask what happened. I'm not your therapist, baby girl. That stung, even though I deserved it. But damn, hearing him say baby girl again made my knee weak in all the wrong ways. Later that night, I sat on his couch, if you could call it that, more like a beat up leather chair dragged in from some war zone. My wet dress was crumpled in a corner. His hoodie swallowed me whole. He stood across the room, leaning against the counter, arms crossed, watching me. Why here? He asked. Of all the places, I shrugged. Didn't know where else to go. Just took the first bus. Silence. Then his eyes narrowed. You are lying. I looked down. Maybe. A bit. Is someone after you? He asked, voice quieter now. I didn't want to answer, so I just whispered, can I sleep here tonight? He didn't move, didn't nod, just kept staring. Then, yeah, but if anyone comes to that door looking for you, he paused, voice like ice. I will protect you, but don't expect me to be nice. That was his way of saying yes. And somehow I felt safer than I had in years. But when I went to the tiny room, he pointed me toward and laid down on the thin mattress. I saw it under his pillow, a gun, loaded, black, cold metal peeking out like a secret waiting to bite. He still lived like a man ready to kill. And suddenly, I remembered no matter how far I ran, some devils never stayed buried, not when they looked like John Jungkook. I didn't sleep, not because of the hard mattress or the flickering light bulb overhead, but because he was just outside the door. Jungkook, the man who used to hold me like he owned me, the man who once said he had killed for me, the man I left behind like a bad dream. And now here I was wrapped in his damn hoodie, hiding under his roof. I could still feel his scent on the sleeves, grease, smoke, and something dangerous. Something I missed too much. Around 3 a.m., I heard movement, not footsteps, metal clicking. I pushed the door open slowly, quietly. There he was, shirtless, back turned, sitting on the floor with his legs crossed like it was some normal night. But what he was doing wasn't normal. He had a parts of a gun spread out on the floor, laid out like a puzzle pieces, cleaning it, resembling it, calm, focused, like muscle memory. I leaned against the doorway. Still into that hobby, huh? He didn't flinch, didn't look up. You used to call it a hobby when you thought I was a bodyguard. He said. I swallowed. You weren't? He chuckled darkly. No, baby girl, I was your father's mistake. That he tried to clean up by sending me away. I blinked. What are you talking about? He finally looked up, jaw clenched. You still think your appa didn't know what I was? I stepped inside. He said you were dangerous. He was right. The air was thick now. I felt like I was breathing smoke. He stood up. He stood up, wiping his hands on a rug. His body was lean, built like a man who still fought battles. There were scars now, one near his rib cage, one across his shoulder. I wanted to ask. I didn't. I didn't come to ruin your life, I said quietly. He tilted his head. But you did. That hit. He walked past me, brushing my shoulder slightly, and set the gun back under his pillow like it was just an other toothbrush. Who are you supposed to marry? He asked, back turned. I stayed quiet. Rich? He added. Older? Politician's son? Or some chaebol brat who thinks girls are property? CEO. I said flatly. My father's business partner's son, 39, twice divorced. Classy. He turned around, eyes cold. Did he ever touch you? I looked up. No. He raised a bow. You sure? My voice cracked. I ran. Jungkook, does that answer your question? He didn't respond, just nodded once, a sharp, subtle tilt. Then he leaned against the counter, arm crossed again. You want me to protect you? He asked. His voice his voice had shifted, softer but serious. I nodded. You trust me again? No. He smiled. Good. Keep it that way. I moved to the sink to get water. My hand trembled on the cup. He noticed. You still cry when you are scared? He asked behind me. I gripped the edge of the sink. I'm not scared. I didn't say now. I turned around sharply. His eyes locked on mine, unblinking, heavy. You cried when I left you at that train station. He said, you cried like you were the one getting betrayed. You left me, I snapped. No explanation, no note, just vanished. He stepped forward, close enough to smell the cigarette on his breath. I had to, he whispered. No, you choose to. No, man, I had to, he repeated, voice cracking just slightly. If I didn't, your father would have buried me, and then buried you next to me. I stepped back. You are saying he knew everything, Jungkook said. I wasn't just a bad boy. You dated in secret. I was his dirty weapon until I became inconvenient. I covered my mouth with my hand. Jungkook walked toward the window, lifting the curtain an inch to peek outside. People like him? Don't forget. You embarrassing him like this, running from the wedding? He turned around. He's not gonna let it slide. I don't care. You should. You should. He said darkly. You have no idea what kind of enemies your father has. I'm not afraid of my father. I'm not talking about him. He walked up to me, and this time his voice dropped low to freeze my spine. I'm talking about your fiancé. I frowned. What about him? Jungkook leaned closer. He is the reason I went underground. The reason I got out of the mafia. My throat tightened. He was the one who put a bounty on my head and 5 years ago. Silence. My knees almost gave out. You were supposed to marry that bastard, Jungkook whispered. The one who tried to kill me. I didn't know. No, you didn't. But they all lied to you. His voice was shaking now, from rage, from memory I didn't know. And then, without warning, he slammed his fist into the wall. The frame above it fell, crashing to the floor. And I just stood there, watching him breathe like he was trying not to explode. Do you regret it? I asked, barely audible. Us, he turned slowly. His eyes were dark, tired, but honest. I regret nothing except letting you go. I wanted to cry, I wanted to scream, but instead I whispered, can I stay for more than one night? His eyes softened just a little. You can stay, he said, then added, but if you get me killed again, I will haunt your prairie from hell. The next morning, I woke up the sound of metal clanging and soft music playing from an old radio in the shop. Jungkook was already working shirt off again, tools in hand, focused like nothing had happened last night. But I knew better because now I know the truth. My fake fiancé wasn't just a spoiled shavel brat. He was the same devil who put a price on Jungkook's head years ago, and I was supposed to marry him, smile beside him, sleep next to him. My stomach turned. I walked into the shop area slowly. He didn't look up, just kept twisting a wrench into some busted engine, like he hadn't dropped a bomb on me last night, like I hadn't asked to stay longer and he hadn't said yes. Morning, I said, voice rough. He glanced at me, nodded once. Hoodie suits you. I smelled better than the white dress. He didn't laugh, but the corner of his mouth twitched. That was enough. You hungry? He asked, tossing a towel over his shoulder. Starving. He made instant ramen. I sat on the counter and watched him like it was some weird domestic dream. No more fancy chef meals. I teased, grabbing a spoon. He shot me a look. You think mafia boys eat caviar and steak? I don't know, but you always had expensive taste. He smeared. Expensive girls, maybe. I choked on the noodles, nearly spilling the bowl. He leaned on the counter beside me, stealing a bite from my bowl with his chopsticks like it was nothing, like we hadn't had been broken for years. Still eat like a kid, he said. Still act like one. His eyes met mine again, and just for a second, it felt like we were back into the tiny rooftop apartment we used to sneak into back before blood, lies, and betrayal ruined everything. But peace never lasts long with a man like him, because 2 seconds later, he froze, chopstick mid-air, head tilt. What? I asked. He didn't answer, he just reached under the counter and pulled out his gun. Get down, he said calmly. Now!